Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then the Hawk Tuah. Yeah. And then if we can squeeze the third one, we're definitely going to my greatest epiphany in approaching women. All right. Well, first up,
Well, guys,
Jamari. Let's
like
go.
TikTok.
First up, Jamari. TikTok situation. All right. They've been talking about it off, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I've been paying attention off and on about it, that they are going to be getting rid of TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, and they're actually going to do it. So what's the new method for clips? What's the new method? Is it still Instagram? Still, you know what I mean? Do we just ride out the TikTok until it gets banned, or what? What do we do? What's the play?
TikTok might officially be getting banned. There has been talks about this for a very long time. Now we are finally seeing the issue come to a head, and the matter is about to head into Supreme Court tomorrow. So
Hold on, let me make sure on something. My fault. Are we good? Yeah. All right. Actually, no. I think I'm a little. Turn myself down a little bit. There we go. Now, okay, that's probably better. All right, let's go.
So 9 months ago, the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act was proposed to Joe Biden, who quickly signed this bill.
I just signed into law the national security package that was passed by the House of Representatives this weekend and by the Senate yesterday. It's going to make America safer.
Look, I got to say something about Biden. Bro, he looked like he aged about 30 years. Like, from when he first was president, like, to like here. Joe. Yeah, when he was vice president. Let's look at that. Like, he looked old still, okay? Like, you know what I mean? But not like this. You know what I mean? Like, he looked old, okay? But you still got the pearly white a little bit. This nigga right here.
Make the world safer, and it continues America.
Man, like, it looked like he aged like 15 years. You know what I mean? We got on. Okay, all right, man.
America's leadership in the world, and everyone knows it.
This was something that both Democrats and Republicans unanimously agreed on, that the App Store overall needed more regulation and less foreign involvement, especially from our enemies.
When it comes to media apps like TikTok, we are failing our children and we are failing our country. Why in the hell would we allow a foreign adversary like the Chinese Communist Party to control a technology platform and key source of information that reaches half of the United States population?
Okay, is it okay? My opinion is, I think we have bigger fish to fry than looking at an app, like, when it comes to America's problems. But, you know, not trying to get political or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I think there's bigger fish to fry.
Like I said, TikTok specifically has been on the chopping block for years, as it has long been feared that China is using it as not only a tool to collect data and information on Americans, but also to launch what I see as the new digital war, the war on misinformation. Because of this, TikTok has been viewed as a threat to America's national security for quite some time. They even introduced a No TikTok on Government Device Act years ago to combat this potential information theft.
TikTok had to admit that, in fact, they'd been surveilling the locations of specific U.S. reporters that had been writing unfavorable stories about the company.
So basically, the government claims that TikTok got caught with their hands in our cookie jar. I mean, when you sign up on their platform, you do give them access to what you're watching on your phone, how long you're watching it, your private messages, your geolocation, your age, your search and browsing history, and even your keystroke data, and even that kind of just scratches the surface of what they can be looking at.
Okay,
Basically,
that
it's
is
kind of
true.
like you're leaving your front door open at night, hoping no one peeks in to see what's going on. And with over 170 million Americans currently using their platform on the daily, that is a lot of information
On
they
the
can be
daily?
gathering. And in them passing that bill I mentioned earlier, they gain the ability to force TikTok to cut ties with their Chinese-based parent company ByteDance. It's either that, or they can lose all access to their American consumers, and this is something that could go into place as early as January 19th. I mean, they must really feel like China is up to something, as this was classified as an emergency, and the Supreme Court agreed to settle the dispute only 2 days after it was placed on their desk. Now, obviously, some people argue that this is a violation of freedom of speech, while the government says they're concerned with China advancing their own geopolitical interest and spreading misinformation, especially during a time of crisis. And the real worry for the freedom of speech crowd is that this would essentially open the door for the government to target other free speech platforms for the content they carry. I mean, I do have to say, I've seen far more propaganda and complete and utter nonsense posted onto Twitter in the last 18 months than I've ever seen on TikTok. And on the other side of things, TikTok has already said back last April that they are going to be refusing to sell the company and that it would actually be impossible for them to do so, with their reasoning being that they do not want to sell their secret sauce that makes their algorithm so addicting. And then to make matters even more interesting, Trump is actually directly opposed to the banning of TikTok.
And you'll never ban TikTok, that's for sure.
I will never ban TikTok.
Thank you.
Which is the opposite of the stance that he had back in his first term when he actually tried to get it banned.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things. There are a couple of options.
But back then, Biden was actually the one to block the bill once he took office.
Like, seriously,
so
look
they
at this
straight
nigga.
up switched positions. Pause. Trump actually met with TikTok CEO recently, and he praised the platform as a whole for helping him win the last election.
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
We'll take a look at TikTok. You know, I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok because I won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok had something to do with that.
So now he wants there to be some sort of negotiation once he does take office. I would guess that he wants to use the platform as leverage over China's head, as he has requested that the Supreme Court pause this law's implementation until he actually gets into office. So we're gonna have to see what happens tomorrow, guys. I mean, this is crazy. This news just broke around 30 minutes ago. So
Yep.
I will continue to keep you updated, but y'all make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, we definitely gotta see a part 2 on this.
How much are y'all using TikTok? I think I'm more of a Reels or YouTube Shorts guy myself.
Same.
But I will say I do
Same.
receive completely different content on the different short form platforms. And can we just all say a prayer one time for my guy Jamari and his gambling addiction? Because without TikTok, my guy is done. Either way, y'all know it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and some other platform.
Quick one. Easy, nice. Nice. All right. So. That's a long one, but we